Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 6. Uh, it continued off where it left off in 5, where Ashley was telling Candiance about Chris and Chris's behavior and stuff like that. And she told Candiance that 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 Chris had slid into her friend's Deborah's DM, and he was texting her and calling her, and he was sending her and he was not just her, other women, that he was like feeling on their legs and touching on their butts and stuff. And then Candiance replied to Ashley, and said, Ashley, you're vindictive. You're a liar. You're a vindictive person. You're a liar. You're playing out this vindictive stuff. Chris did none of what you said. Chris did none of what you said. And then Ashley's gonna chime in and say, well, Candiance, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you feel that way. She said something about, yeah, Candiance, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it doesn't feel that good when the pendulum switches another way. And Candiance say, oh, I got it now. I see it now. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And then. And then she said I was gonna keep this a secret, Candiance. But Michael leaves you and Michael leaves you and go meet up with this man, and him and this man do things together. And Ashley talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about, Candiance. He doesn't do that. And then she said, from the rumors I heard, he's real. He's a real. He go to these real. He go to these real expensive gentleman clubs and stuff. And I was saying, honey child, a gentleman club is just another. It's just a nice name. It's just a nice name, just like they do for strippers. When they talk about that, that's just a big old nice name to say a strip club or a male club. But anyway, after that, they kept on arguing, and then Karen jumped in and said, "Wait a minute, hold up. That's it, that's all, that's okay. Let's leave now. Let's go out." And she told Mia, "Come on, Mia, let's go outside. Let's go outside." So Karen and Mia went outside, and just as all the ladies was getting ready to leave the table, Candice said, "Giselle, I want to talk to you." And Giselle said, okay, yeah, let's go in another room. And so they went in another room, and she said, and Candice said, well, Giselle, I just want to get some clarity on some things, for what you said. You said that, I just want to get some clarity on some things. What happened between you and Chris? And she said, well, Chris asked me, could he talk to me? And I told him, yeah, we can go talk. And then we went to talk, and then I thought my makeup people and my hairdress people were in my dressing room. And when I didn't see him in my dressing room, I felt kind of uncomfortable talking to a married man. We'd be in a dressing room together and stuff like that. And so that made me feel uncomfortable. And I didn't want to be I didn't want to be in a room with a married man and stuff. So I just told him to leave. And so Candice said, well, that's not what Chris told me. Chris told me that he said he wanted to talk to you. He said you the one said, let's go to my dressing room. And he said when he realized wasn't nobody in there just like you, he told you to leave the door open and stuff. And she just said, well, I don't remember nothing like that. I don't remember like nothing like that. She said, well, that's what Chris said. She said, well, I don't really know nothing like that. She said, but Chris did say that you did ask him to leave. I did tell him to leave. And she said, Giselle, what did he do? Did he leave or did he do anything to you? She said, no, he left like I told him. And I told him to tell the producers that I'll be all right. And that's what he did. And she said, oh, that's what happened. So he didn't touch you. He didn't touch you. He didn't look at you a certain way. He didn't do nothing. She said, Giselle, you're lying. You're lying. You said he didn't do nothing to you, and you made him feel uncomfortable. And she said, you're just lying, Giselle. You're just lying. Giselle said, I'm not lying. I know it. I know how I felt. I know how he made me feel. And she said, Giselle, you know what? Candace said that, Giselle, you know what? She said it makes it hard for women who have legitimate claims to come forward because of you. And Giselle said, no, 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 it's not because of me. I'm really a women for advocate, and for advocate. I'm really an advocate for women who have SB claims and stuff like that, and stuff like that. And then she said no, and then Giselle walked out the room, and then what your car was crying. She had a little napkin. Candice, and then the rest of the girls got on the bus, and then they got to driving. Well, let me get some water right quick. I'm back. And the next scene is when Wendy asked Ashley. She said, Ashley, why don't you decide to bring this stuff about Chris up in the group? Couldn't you have told Candace this privately and stuff? She said no, because my friend Deborah said that Chris was doing that to her, calling her and DM other women and stuff. But you say, but still, Wendy said, Ashley, but still, you could have told her this privately. And in fact, she said, no, I did it because of my friend Deborah, And she said, oh, really? That's how you did it? She said, yeah, I did it because of my friend Deborah and other women, and I thought Candace should know. And then Wendy said, okay, let's go get in the bus with the other girls. Candace knows she just did that to get back at Ashley. That's why I say Ashley and Candace could have had a good relationship if Ashley wouldn't be so shady. And then the scene switched to Ashley going to visit the lawyer at the Thomas and Thomas law firm. And so she talked to the lawyer, and she told the lawyer about her and Michael's relationship. And she said that her and Michael had a relationship. And she said they kind of grew apart because Michael wanted to had do the threesome stuff, and she didn't want to do that no more after she had her kids. She explained to the lawyer, and the lawyer asked her who was the main breadwinner in the family. And she said, oh, it's Michael. Michael is the main breadwinner. Michael's the main breadwinner. She said, by Michael being the main breadwinner, the lawyer, Miss Thomas, she said, by Michael being the main breadwinner, he has full say so over the money and how the money is run and how the money goes. She said, oh, and she said, I just wanted to get some information to find out, and what would happen to me. And then the lawyer said, well, do you have a prenup? And then Ashley said, yeah, we have a prenup. She said, but after 5 years, I was supposed to get a certain amount doing the prenup and stuff. And it's been over 5 years and stuff like that. She said, well, are you and Michael still living in the same place? She said, yeah, me and Michael are still living in the same apartment, the same townhouse, but we still stay in the same house, but we don't have contact with each other. He be in one room and I be in another room. And then she said, oh, it's like that. She said, yeah, it's like that. And she said, I just want to know. And then she said, well, I want to get some more information. She said, do you think it's a good idea that me and Michael should buy a house together and we're gonna have it under LLC? That lawyer said, no. That's not good for you to buy a house with Michael on the LLC. She said, "Cause don't you know he could don't you know that he could claim that in divorce or some of the property that he might want to get?" She said, "No, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea." And she said, "Yeah." And I just wanted to get the information. She said, between you and Google, I got the information I need. And the lawyer said, well, I'm not Google. I'm a lawyer, and I'm just telling you what. She said, well, I'll send you over the paperwork, and you can look it up and see. She said, yeah, just in case Michael try to do something, try to do something funny. And the lawyer said, yeah. And then it switched to the next scene. I switched to the next scene, and the next scene was with Wendy. Was Wendy at her house with her family, and stuff like that. And she was getting her kids ready and then getting the kids ready, and they were playing a little game, and then Eddie came from downstairs, and then she told the kids to go in the room and play with their games, and then after that, Eddie asked her, he said, well, how did everything go, Wendy, with the burn session? And it was like, Wendy said, it started off good, but then it turned left. He said, how did it turn left? She said, some girls got the organ, and some girls got into it and stuff like that. He said, but what about you? She said, well, what it was, I told some of the ladies that she said, I told some of the ladies that I would accept it sometime, that I might seem a little bit uppity, or I might ignore them. I did take full responsibility for what I did, but some of the other women didn't want to take full responsibility for what they did. And then she was saying, well, Eddie, with all this stuff going on, all these businesses I got, and then my mom got sick and stuff like that, and she was saying how they had to rush her mom to the hospital, and that was kind of taking a toll on her. And she was saying, with all this stuff that I'm doing, I'm really tired. And Eddie said, that's what I was trying to tell you, Wendy, that you're doing a lot of things. You're a professor. You work on NSNBC. You got a calendar business, and now you want to start a restaurant business. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be hard on you. And anyway, that's gonna take up a lot of your money with this restaurant business. Well, what's going on with that? She said, well, I don't know. I'm still interested, but I gotta see. And he said, yeah, I keep telling you, you're wearing yourself thin. And then it switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Mia and Jackie at the spa, and they were having a spa day, and then I think, hold up, I forgot. Like I said, Mia was at the spa day with Jackie, and Mia told Jackie that she invited Clarice because she likes Clarice. And then a few minutes later, Clarice showed up, and Clarice asked Mia, she said, how are you doing? Is everything fine with you and stuff? How's everything going? And so Mia said, well, I still got some more tests to do and stuff like that. She said, but what? She said, oh, I'm so glad it's not cancer, Clarice. I'm glad it's not cancer, but I just got some more tests to do. She said, I did have some surgery to remove some of those lymph nodes, or some of those lymphs that I had, but I still have some more tests to do and stuff like that. And so they had a nice spa day, and she was saying, and then Jackie chimed in and said, well, Maya been going through a whole lot with this cancer scare and stuff, with these tests back and forth, and all the stuff that she has been going through her life. Maya had went through a whole lot of stuff, and I don't know why some people thought Maya was faking her cancer scare, which she didn't. And so Clarice said, well, I just wanted to know what was going on. And then so Maya chimed in. And Jackie said, yeah, Mia had to come stay with us for a little while. We kind of took her in, we kind of adopted her. And then Mia explained. She said, well, my mother was heavily on drugs, and my father was in prison, and I went from foster care to foster care, and then I finally got with Jack and him. So yeah, that was that. And so they had the spa day, and they were talking, and she was saying, oh, Clarice, me and Jackie were talking earlier, and I said I needed a break, I needed a vacation, and stuff, and I decided to go to Miami, and I'm going to invite the girls to Miami. Would you like to come? And she said, yeah, I'm going to Miami. And she said it's going to be a nice place to go. And she said, and she said, yeah, I need to have a whole room by myself, a whole restroom by myself. And she said, well, I think all of the girls will be able to do it, but somebody's going to have to share. And then Sharice kept talking about she needed a room by herself. And then it switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Giselle and Robin meeting up at the shop, some boutique that they were going to the shop, because Giselle told Robin that she needed some nice clothes to go to Miami. She'd been to Miami before, but she wanted to go to Miami and have some fun. And she said, yeah, I want to go to Miami and have some fun after what we had at that burn session. And then Giselle said, well, yeah, I didn't like the way Candiance was acting. She acted like she didn't want to believe me and Ashley for what she said. And she was saying, yeah, I was surprised by Candiance bringing it up about Michael, and then so she said I was shocked by it. And then Robin said no, I wasn't shocked by it. Robin said that wasn't new to me. She said Candiance told me that about 3 years ago, and it was rumored back then that Michael was doing that stuff. And then next thing you know, Ashley walked in and said, "Oh, what y'all talking about?" She said, "We just talking about Miami and stuff that was going on and what happened and stuff like that." And she said, "Oh yeah." She said, I told Robin and I was just so shocked about what Ashley said about Michael did and how Michael was, and then Ashley said, "Well, I heard those rumors too, but that's not true." Candiance don't know she talking about that's not true. Michael doesn't leave me to go be with some other gentleman callers. And then they went on shopping. The next thing you know, they showed the next scene, and the next scene was them riding in the van to the airport. And then the next thing you know, they was all in the airport, and they showed the ladies all in the airport. And then they were greeting and meeting each other. And next thing you know, Clarice called Karen and said, Karen, and Karen looked back. Karen said, "Oh, you're coming on the trip. You're coming on my birthday trip." She said, "Oh yeah, Karen." Karen looked at her and turned around, and the show ended. So the next episode probably. If I don't do it today, I'll probably do it one day next week. I really did like this episode, but you could tell from this episode that it's leaning in to season 7, episode 7, episode the explosive drink throwing thing. Like I said, I'll probably do another video on that one. This is Abe Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.